It's like a live webcamming website.
Oh, yeah, you would know.
You know it.
Get the fuck out of here. No.
W Gooner.
We're not doing this.
Chinese Gooner.
We're not doing this right now. We're not doing this. Welcome to the Cap Table episode 11.
Yes, sir.
If you were 611. If you're new here, the Cap Table is your twice a week update on everything tech related.
Yep.
All of us are in tech, but we're learning alongside of you as well. Yes. And we have a lot of news to get into this week.
Yes.
You know, we have the biggest week in AI probably since ChatGPT launched. A lot of government stuff, ethic debates, large $100 billion rounds.
Yep.
We got drone strikes as well, and a whole lot of people deleting ChatGPT recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's get into it. JD, you want to start us off?
Yeah. As Eric mentioned, we got a lot of news. This is our first time. Like, we only shot one time last week, and then a bunch of stuff happened.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to talk about. Starting with OpenAI's $110 billion mega round. So OpenAI raised another series. I'm not sure which series letter it is, but they raised another series for $110 billion at $840 billion post money valuation.
It's a little bit lower than I thought it actually.
Yeah, you thought it'd be over $1 trillion?
Yeah.
I wonder if a bit of that was for optics. You know what I'm saying? Like them not wanting to say we're over $1 trillion, because then there would be people like, okay, how are you going to make all that money?
I think like Sam Altman would have wanted to be.
Yeah,
that's also true.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Well, they'll undoubtedly IPO at $1 trillion. I feel like.
I think
for
so.
sure,
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, but
easily.
like, looks like they give 13% in this round.
Yeah, exactly. And they raised from Amazon, $50 billion from them, $30 billion from NVIDIA. But yeah, it's a ridiculous round. I think we've talked about it a lot. But in order to justify this type of valuation, they're gonna have to figure out, kind of revenue and figure out profitability eventually. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the companies that invested in them, they're kind of just feeding into one another.
Yeah.
Like OpenAI buys off of NVIDIA. Amazon buys off of
The
circular.
data
very
center.
circular,
Yeah,
very
You're pretty
circular.
much just trading money.
Or AWS,
So it
yeah.
does make sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a large round. Their valuation 4x is the largest IPO ever.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
until SpaceX snatches their chain for that biggest like round in
Yeah.
general,
It's
right?
crazy because their first round was at the time the biggest private raise ever.
And now it's
Yeah.
like double.
It's now
Yeah,
it's
more than
almost
double.
triple. Yeah, almost
Yeah.
triple of that.
Quad
So
that, yeah.
it's ridiculous. I think it's very interesting to note that like Microsoft wasn't part of this new like fundraising.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, Microsoft's gonna give money. Like, what's going on with that? They like backed out for a second. So we'll see. I mean, they did come out and say like, okay, we don't have any issues with OpenAI. Like, we believe in Sam Altman, but they weren't on the current race.
Yeah, I think a part of it too is they probably don't. They already own, I forgot what percent, but it's a good percent of
Yeah.
OpenAI from one of their its early rounds, and I feel like they probably just don't want any more exposure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially
Yeah.
at this valuation, if you have it at probably like 100 billion or whatever they first got in at, maybe even less than that.
800 is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you want to get in at this type of post money valuation? But yeah, definitely interesting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, their cap table's messy.
Their cap
Yes.
table's messy. Our cap table, clean,
There you go.
clean as heck though, because some of our guests.
Yes.
talk about
Shout out to
some
our
of
guests.
have done?
Yes. Okay. Kali, one of the first consumer apps to come out in this new vibe coding era, has recently sold in a large deal as they've been acquired by MyFitnessPal at a rumored 9-figure deal. Because if you look at the revenue numbers, they're doing $50 million a year.
Yep.
The commonplace thing is 2x.
Yeah.
So it
usually.
was for sure a 9-figure deal. But this is large. This is huge, just because this is the first really large consumer app in the space to come out. This is the first app to really grow off of UGC marketing, guerrilla short form marketing, influencer, undisclosed paid ads. This is the daddy, this is the godfather, and this is now the sentiment of success for everybody in the consumer app space. So,
I mean, 100% bootstrapped, which is like
Yeah.
crazy for $100 million plus allegedly deal.
Exit,
Like,
yeah.
it's like, dude, no funding. No funding
funding.
at all.
I mean, to put that into perspective, like you can.
that's Blake Anderson's MO too.
yeah.
And to put that into perspective, you can exit for like, say even $1 billion or $500 million. But if you did it like the venture-backed way, you would probably come out with less than these
What
guys
they're
came
gonna
out with
come out, yeah.
this way, because, like you said, they owned 100% of the cap table there.
I mean, now we're seeing like all the consumer apps in this new era of UGC marketing start getting acquired. Like,
Yeah.
we have Kali, and then we have Quizlet doing, I don't know, they're just spending a lot of money for
Cocoa
no reason.
Nut.
They
Or
bought Cocoa
I
Notes.
said Cocoa Melon.
Oh, that's way too out of their, that's way out of their
They
budget.
can't afford that. They can't afford that.
Yeah, but they bought Cocoa Note and Answers AI. So it is kind of cool seeing these founders. They may not be the most technical, but it looks like they're the most technical in the sense of distribution.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Blake mentioned it when we talk to him, like in this age of vibe coding, in this age where like the technical aspect is cheaper than it is ever before. You know, software was traditionally very expensive. Now it's a lot cheaper. Like your real advantage is, like you said, distribution is a huge one. And then I think like he mentioned also like taste and product, you know, like building a product that people want. So I think those two things, if you have those two, hey, it could be the next Blake Anderson and Cal AI.
There you go.
Yeah, but what you don't want to be next is laid off.
Oh, yeah, definitely
Yes.
not. I'll talk about this, sure. So Block had a historic 40% layoff. So
Jesus.
Jack Dorsey cut Block from $10,000 to $6,000 employees. It's the largest percentage layoff in S&P history, and the stock actually jumped 25%.
That's ridiculous.
And this was interesting because usually when you lay the people off, it's because the economics and the fundamentals of your business aren't doing good. In the note he gave to his company, he actually said it's quite the contrary, right? Block is in actually a very good place right now.
Yeah.
But because of the kind of AI like headwinds he sees coming, he thinks for the company to operate at its most efficient and its most effective, he had to do this layoff. I will say, like to his credit, I know like layoffs are always a very difficult thing, and like my heart's out for all the people that were impacted by it. But you know, the severance package is pretty. It's a very generous one.
decent, yeah.
And one of the things he said is he'd rather have did it all at once in this layoff than drag it out for people for
You know
like
what?
a long period of time.
I can respect that. Cutting off the arm as opposed to cutting it off finger by finger.
Yeah, but again, this is a profitable company, right? It's
Yeah.
like they didn't have to do this. I mean, especially in the era of where there's a lot of tech layoffs and not a lot of people are getting jobs in the tech market. It's like, do you have a due diligence to your employees as a CEO to like not screw them over?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you have multiple obligations, right? You have the obligation to your employees, but then at the
Your
same time, you have
investors.
the obligation to your investors and your shareholders if you think this is the better thing for the company. I think it's a tough thing.
And the thing is, but like at the end of the day, they really don't, which is why we should also be telling people who work in tech and work in any
that's
job
true, yeah.
that they don't owe any loyalty to the company.
Yes.
Because the company
Facts.
doesn't owe any loyalty to them. Right?
Yeah.
exactly.
But I think it's interesting because, like, you know, common economics, right? Is productivity decreases.
Yeah.
So does the
Yeah.
so does like the economic value of it. But now with AI, it seems like if you're able to cut costs and still increase productivity by integrating AI tools,
Yep.
then it makes it go up in
Yeah.
value because
Yeah.
block jumped 25% stock,
25% is crazy.
Yeah,
It's actually
exactly.
crazy.
I mean, that's a huge amount. And
especially in a bear market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when most SaaS companies and most software companies aren't doing that great right now. Overall, you know, again, hearts out for the people who were impacted. In terms of like the strategic move, you know, I don't want to say I get it, but I mean, all talked about like the power of these AI, you know, coding tools. You know, I understand why, you know, he kind of made this decision in this pivot.
Yeah, speaking of AI models and AI,
Yes.
MiniMax M2.5. So we've talked about MiniMax before, but essentially it's a Chinese LLM called MiniMax. And so they recently dropped M2.5. And so based on the benchmarks, it actually rivals Claude Opus on a lot of the coding benchmarks. And the cool part, or like the interesting part, is that it's way cheaper. It's almost 1/20th of the price. So I think like 80% of MiniMax's own code now is like AI generated, which is actually
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I think we're getting to a point, we've talked about this before, where like
Products are
AI
building themselves.
AI is just going to teach themselves, which is like super cool. And so like, you know, while the US is fighting, we'll get into it later, but like fighting over like, you know, the Pentagon defense contracts and like this whole like OpenAI, like Claude stuff behind the government, like China is like winning. They're winning on performance and also like just on pricing. So I think I will say one caveat. And we also talked about this. They got in trouble recently because they were kind of reverse engineering Claude anyways. So like there was like 24,000 accounts. You know, DeepSeek was doing it, MiniMax was doing it. So it's like, okay, cool, they're rivaling at the like, you know, a 20th of the price, but like you're kind of stealing the data. Allegedly, right? Allegedly.
Yeah, a few thoughts here. One, I think, and I think Dario, and of course he's biased. I'm talking about the CEO of Anthropic. He mentioned this, but this is something I agree with because it's something I've kind of noticed just in talking to the models. I haven't used any open weight models to code before. But I do feel like a lot of open weight models optimize a lot towards a benchmark, like towards the benchmarks. But when you use them in practice, they aren't always as good as some of the frontier models and some of the US models. But with that being said, like 1/20th of the price is it's stupendously cheaper.
Yeah.
And one exciting thing about these open weight models in general, and I think I talked to you guys about this before the podcast, was especially with like the new MacBooks coming out. Like I am interested in seeing if we see more people turn towards open weight models and running them locally, right? Because you don't need a Wi-Fi access, you don't have to spend money on inference. You know, I see a lot of advantages to it. So I'm curious, like if we get to the point where you know the actual difference between an open weight model and like these closed weight models, like the American models, are extremely small. Like, I wonder if more people are gonna just, if they're doing menial tasks that you don't need the highest intelligence to do, like just run it locally on your computer. At least you're not giving your data to, Anthropic or OpenAI, keeping it to yourself, not having to spend money. Like, there are certain advantages. So.
And it's interesting to see because I think people talk about China being like a communist country, which it's not a communist country, by the way. People have private ownership of everything besides land.
There you go, number one defender.
Yeah, but like these companies are open source because they want to be, and like bypass like U.S. hardware restrictions and whatnot, and also to gain community feedback. Which is pretty damn important, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I think key thing is like they all just genuinely want to work together to build the best model, whereas opposed the big tech companies here are beefing these Super Bowl ads.
Yeah, it's all about profit.
So I don't know. I think it's very interesting to see like the duality and the performance, cost, and growth.
Yeah.
Speaking of other models, if we want to move on, the U.S. models. So Grok, quote unquote, predicted the Iran strike. So some context. So the Jerusalem Post basically did a kind of a survey on February 25th where they asked Grok, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude the same exact question. Pick a likely date for a hypothetical U.S. attack on Iran. So Claude settled for March 7th or 8th. Gemini said like 4th through 6th. And ChatGPT, after some questioning, said March 3rd. Grok correctly picked February 28th, and Elon Musk, says like, oh, like this is like we're correct, like we're the truth, blah 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 blah. And so, first of all, thoughts on using AI to kind of predict this. First of all, I will say like they were all relatively close. Like even like the last one was Claude March 8th. What, 10 days before? Like less than 10 days before, or 10 days after. So
I mean, if you want to talk about prediction, just look at what people insider betted on Kalshi.
That's what I was gonna say. I was literally gonna say, dude, who needs LLMs when you have truth markets like Kalshi and
I
Poly
really
market?
don't think this is that impressive. And also, someone like Elon Musk who has such a close proximity to the government.
Yeah.
Like, what?
yeah,
What are we talking about?
It's. We can talk about prediction markets all we want, but I think it is that is crazy. And also like it's one of those things where it's like survivorship bias. Where it's like, okay, we don't really know like how many times people have asked like certain questions.
For sure.
Like I'm sure people have asked questions about like Grok, like, oh, when will so and so happen? It's like completely wrong.
Every dog has its day, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Or like you ever
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if you see like you ever see those tweets where they're like, oh, so and so like this thing will happen and it was like 10 years ago and they got it right. Like, all right, like of course if you have a million billion tweets, like there's gonna be one that predicts something.
Like I more believe The Simpsons is Nostradamus
Oh.
as opposed to Grok.
Yeah.
Simpsons have done it on a lot more occasions.
A lot of
But that
occasions,
being said, the Simpsons have like 1,000 plus
Exactly.
episodes.
It's literally just law of volume.
Yeah, darts.
They're gonna be right every now and then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Literally.
Keep on shooting darts.
I know.
Which
yeah.
also connects to your startup. Keep on shooting darts because one might hit.
Yeah,
There you
one
go.
of my hits, right?
One might hit. Like
Speaking of hit,
speaking of hit, Claude hit #1 on the App Store.
Ooh. Nice.
Yes. Is like I think anyone who watches this knows I'm a very very big Claude fan. Yeah, and they just passed GPT as #1, and
Insane.
it's connected to our first news story. We'll get into that in a second. But Claude's just come into the news a lot lately. I've seen a lot of people. I think Katy Perry even
tweeted about it. Katy
Yeah,
Perry.
a lot of people, a lot of our friends have been asking me about Claude.
Yeah.
Like, what is this Claude thing? And it hit #1 on the App Store, which is even more surprising, or not surprising, but we've talked about how it dominates in enterprise. Like, are they going to actually make moves in consumer? And if they do, that makes OpenAI's valuation even more into question, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thoughts, boys?
I mean, GPT dominates consumer, but are they losing consumer?
yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that like right after this, but like, yeah, they might be cooked, bro.
Yeah.
They actually might be cooked. You want to talk about why this happened, Jaden? Let's get into cluster one.
And also, before I get into that, I will say, like, if you look at the relative difference, though, like I was looking at a graph early, like yesterday, like even though Claude's #1 right now, the gap is still humongous. but
Small wins.
Small wins. It could be a trend. But yes. So as I'm sure, or I don't know how much people have heard about it, but the context is on last Friday, Anthropic basically. The DoD, the Department of Defense, gave them an ultimatum, right? And traditionally, the Department of Defense used Claude, which is Anthropic's LLM, to, they used it for their military. They used it for a bunch of things. I don't know exactly what is the use case. There's rumors that they used it for the Maduro thing. I don't know if you've seen that before. I don't know how true that is, but that's what people say.
They might have used it for what just happened.
Yeah, exactly. That's a different
Actually, they definitely did. We'll get into that later too.
Exactly, yeah. But they gave them until 5:01 p.m. on Friday to basically give them full access, full use of Anthropic's Claude.
Because Anthropic has like terms and conditions in place. They have like these things where it's like, hey, like don't.
There's two things in particular. One, no autonomous weapons, and two, no mass domestic surveillance of Americans. Those were the two things that Anthropic and Claude wouldn't budge on. And the U.S. government basically was not willing to
forget
say, okay. They said, we're not going to do that, but we're not willing to sign documents saying we won't do that.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. So essentially what happened is, they said that they would stop using Claude, and then they issued a supply chain risk designation onto Claude, which essentially means that people who, I think it's companies that are using Claude cannot use it for military practices.
Any government. The thing is, this is the first time it's ever happened for an American company.
Yeah.
Anyone in the government, any company that has any contract with the government, doesn't matter what it is, but particularly for defense and military, cannot use Claude. That's what they're saying.
It's close. I watched the Dario did an interview right afterwards, and he specified that that's kind of what people were saying it is, but they can't use it for specifically a military operation. So say you're in Microsoft in contract with the U.S. government about something in that contract, you can't use Claude. But if it's something with Azure, you could use Claude.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and also I don't think Microsoft is going to be filling in Palantir's shoes. So.
Yeah, definitely.
I will also say though that would have been crazy if that happened. If it was what you're saying, I think it would be extremely contentious because there'd be so many companies that'd be like, everyone uses Claude basically. Yeah. But that's the context for it basically. What are our thoughts? There's a bunch of little details that I'm sure we'll talk about as we get into this topic.
The biggest thing is kind of this idea, and we talked about this all the time recently, where it's government versus private companies, where it's okay, who really gets to choose? And so there was actually someone was talking about a nuclear scenario. So Dean Ball, who's one of the primary authors of the White House AI Action Plan, said that essentially what Trump was saying was the Defense Production Act. And so what the Defense Production Act, if they use it against Anthropic, what it could basically do is say, Anthropic, you have to give us complete control. It doesn't matter what you think about. The government now owns it can use your product for anything, right? That includes killing civilians, figuring out who to bomb, literally domestic surveillance, literally anything, right? So if they did that, that would be I wouldn't call it fascism, but it's very close to that, right? And from a very non-political point, it's almost like corporate murder, where it's the government now owns your product. We've seen this, in China, I don't know why I'm pointing to Eric, but we've seen this in China all the time. So that is the nuclear option. That's where it could head to. So I think it is very concerning that the fact that it could even get to that point.
Yeah. I think Anthropic, they've maintained this cultural image of being the company being based upon ethics and caring about AI and advancing humanity as opposed to regressing it. And it looks like they made their stand, which is fantastic, right?
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, excellent move by Dario and him. Yeah, but someone who didn't make a great move.
Oh, yes.
We could get into that soon, but before we get into that, there's one more thing I do want to talk about in regards to this. There's really two factions here, I'd say. There's the first group that feels like it's interesting because I can kind of, in principle, see both perspectives, right? There's one group which is Claude's standpoint, which is the government can infringe on a private company, which totally makes sense to me, right? And this is our product. The government can't, just like you said, seize that product.
Right.
The other standpoint is people saying okay, if AI is something akin to a nuclear weapon, right? Or if it's akin to something a private company can't, something of that level of, impact on human society, if it is all the things that Anthropic says it is, for example, something like the Manhattan Project, right? And it is different because that was funded literally by the government. This is a private company funded by venture, which is a little bit different, but still, the government should have some oversight into it, which, I can see why someone would say that. I think the ironic thing is, though, the people who have that standpoint is flipped than what you would think it is. People on the right are the ones who are saying the government should
have to
own companies, and people on the left are the ones who are saying oh no, it should be privatized.
People just whistle to the dog that they want to see win.
And I think that's exactly true. So regardless of your political standpoint, I think it's funny how in the end of the day, it's so many people talk about these principles that they follow, but it seems like people just kind of go towards whatever their side is.
Whatever person they want to praise that week.
Exactly.
It's funny because I was actually thinking about this earlier today, and I was I think the way that I've thought about government and government oversight has really changed in the last 10 to 15 years. Part of that is because
10 to 15, bro. You were
10
years old.
Let me finish my concept. Part of that is because I've grown up before, and become a kid, but also the policies have changed a lot in the last 10 years per se, right? And so I was thinking about this. I was okay, let's who do I want in control, and who do I think is the best person to be in charge of civilians?
Claude 4.6.
Is it the private company? And do I trust a private company to make decisions for citizens and for shareholders and like just obviously the general population, or the government? And when I was younger, I was like, oh, the government for sure. You know, they care about its citizens. It's all about them. They're gonna make sure like private companies don't screw us over. I've seen that change in the last like maybe 8 years, where I cannot say with certainty. When I was younger, again, I was a kid, so it's harder to say, but I could say with much more certainty that I believe that the government had my best interest at heart when it comes to a lot of things in tech.
I think it's also because like you're more probably aligned and in tune with what you are politically, right?
Yeah.
And where you skew. And we've been in 2 different administrations that have been very, very hard on whatever side they're representing, right?
Yeah. And you weren't here for
Especially the current
Obama.
one
We
right
were for Obama, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was here.
He wasn't alive.
I was here, but I wasn't alive, right?
conscious,
But
bro.
I'm,
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm
true.
talking
He was, like,
about
6 years old.
like Trump's second one, Biden,
Yeah.
Trump. Those are like both administrations very like adamantly on their side.
Yeah.
There is no like moderate. There is no bipartisan. It's very partisan, right?
Yeah.
And I think part of that is also why like a lot of people like whenever their branches in power, like, oh, we like big government.
Yeah.
We like
That's how-
empowering the people.
Yeah.
When it's not, there's like, man, this is America. Private ownership, small government, local
Yeah.
government
Yeah.
wins,
And
right?
I feel that too, because I feel like I was like, I do definitely change my. I mean, everyone does. The ideas of the government, what the government should be able to
sure.
control, depending on who the administration
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I think exactly I agree with what you said. I think what Eric said is also true. And then I also think it's like, it depends on the company, right? Because like,
Yeah.
I mean, not to, Anthropic, okay, I'll just say my own opinions. Like, obviously, I like Anthropic a lot.
Right.
Like, I feel like I'd feel comfortable with like thinking they have people's best interest when it comes to AI in mind. But like, if we have another company, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna name names, Oracle, like, then I'd be like, okay, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, and also
XAI.
think about there's
Yeah,
someone
XAI.
the direct opposite of you that's like, why would an AI company ever have my best? Like Anthropic AI, like that never. Like, I'm sure the
Exactly.
majority of the country feels like that. So it's
100%.
like,
So there's so much nuance, but I think what you're saying, the root of your saying, I agree with 100%. But yeah, do we want to move on
Yeah,
to
speaking
the
of
other
the
AI
other,
company?
yeah.
We should talk about OpenAI's large fumble.
Yeah. Okay. So a fumble is
an opinion.
Yeah.
It's an opinion.
They came up in that they are now the contractors for
the government.
the government.
defense.
So the ironic thing is, they said first, like the day before, they were like, "Oh, no, we stand with Anthropic."
Yeah.
Like the government, they
Sam
can't tell
Altman
us.
goes on.
Yeah, Sam Altman's like,
He's on TV.
Yeah, he's like, we have our difference of opinions, but we're rocking with Anthropic, and the government can't tell us AI companies what we can and can't do with our models. And then at 5:14 p.m., so 13 minutes after the Anthropic deal fell apart, OpenAI has said that they've come to agreement with the U.S. government. The deal, even Altman said is definitely rushed and the optics didn't look good. But what he said was that, somehow magically they were able to, and I don't think the wording of the deal came out, but he said, no, somehow magically they were able to like stick by the guardrails Anthropic set and sign it. And the government was okay with them doing it, but they weren't okay with Anthropic doing it. So there's a lot of like fuzziness and kind of muddiness here in terms of exactly what the terms and conditions are that OpenAI is using. But yeah, OpenAI is now being used by the government, or apparently, because a lot of people are saying that they still use Claude for their.
Yeah, I mean, it came out recently that a lot of the missiles and a lot of not the actual weapons, like that has not happened yet. They're not using AI to run the weapons per se, but like a lot of the decision making was definitely still used. They still use Claude. Like they were on like the reports came out that they're using Claude for those attacks.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. So Charles Bullock, who is like a legal scholar, basically said that yes, it is very possible that OpenAI was somehow able to get a deal with the government that's like, hey, like, you can't use this for weapons, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't really matter because the Department of War can change its policies whenever it wants.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to sue the Department of War, especially if we end up going to war.
Yeah.
Like, there's no backbone here. So, like, cool, like, Sam Altman is like, like, oh, we signed a deal, like, it's BS. It's all BS. He knows it's BS. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it kind of shows that he doesn't have a backbone to some degree. I think OpenAI, and we'll talk about this later
I
too.
don't know about backbone. I think it's more so timing. Him like raising a large round, just pressure to make money.
Yeah.
No,
I
but you can't. No. You cannot be like, yo, we stand with these guys, and then like 20 minutes later
It's
be
not
like,
backbone. It's just him being like, backstabbing people.
So
right?
you have a backbone.
No. But like,
No,
if he actually had no backbone, he would have folded to his employees signing against it.
Yeah, no, because what if he intended to do? What if that was Sam's like master play, bro? What if he's like, yup.
Like I would
Just like
say
I
he has
played.
a spine. It's a shitty spine. Don't get me wrong, but he has a spine.
Yeah. But we don't know, right? We don't know exactly these are different. Like, we don't know what exactly he was thinking, but yeah, those are different.
Dude, you can't have it both ways, bro. Like, you think the government all of a sudden was like, oh no, like moral high ground, like there goes like OpenAI, you guys got it, like we're gonna fold to Anthropic, but not to you
I
guys.
definitely don't think that's the case. I definitely think either like I mean, what if we interview Sam Altman one day? But I definitely think
it's like
the
we're
two
just.
pathways.
We'll ask about it.
In
Yeah.
this particular instance, I think the two paths are that he either folded to the government. Like the likely paths, these aren't confirmed, are that he either folded to the government or he had this in mind the entire time and he snaked the.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see
I
why
think
you
it could be
say
a
that.
mix
then.
of both.
No, but here's
yeah.
the thing: if this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to say these things and then go back on it. It would just be much better if you just did it.
You know
it doesn't
why?
make sense.
He probably said those things, and then he got word that a potential deal could occur with them, and he was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
wait, I just had a large raising round. I have a lot of pressure to make
Yeah,
a lot of money right
that's
now
true.
for my company."
But even then, bro, like the deal itself, like
It's not that much money.
Anthropic's deal was $200 million.
Yeah, it's not that much
Which
money.
I mean, what's their revenue? $13 billion now. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, that's not that
it's a
much.
small part.
And OpenAI makes more than that, so it's
Yeah.
like $200 million that really matters. So
I mean,
yeah.
still is like a penny in the jar.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's also like think about.
And
we'll
also,
get
I
to,
think he is like trying to open up to probably more defense contracts. Then
Ultimately, it's all conjecture, right, on our part. Like we obviously don't.
we
know
don't
the
know.
inner
We'll have to
workings.
ask Sam Altman. Please come on the show. So we can
Yeah,
ask you.
exactly. But there is one more thing I want to say is because now in hindsight, it's like, okay, this all happened, but like we all know what ended up happening just like a couple hours afterwards, right? Which is the U.S. joined Israel's war in Iran.
Yeah.
So it makes the deadline of 5 p.m. make way more sense.
Yeah.
They had that deadline in place because they wanted to know, like, hey, before we go to war,
Do we have you guys?
Do we have you guys? So I think that's extremely interesting as well. Like, and it also shows like everyone, especially the government, like how much they're using AI, right? Like a major part of before they felt comfortable starting this war was like, do we have these LLMs ready to deploy and to use? So that's pretty crazy. But we're talking about execs. Execs aren't the only people in the company. What's also important is the employees, and there was a huge employee and executive divide. So there was a lot of employees from Google and OpenAI, so 300 plus from Google and 60 plus from OpenAI, signed open letters supporting Anthropic's stance and opposing the military AI deployment. And it's ironic because like these OpenAI employees are supporting literally like something their CEO literally just undercut, right? So yeah, and it's crazy because Google, they're not really too much in these discussions, but it shows that this is a part of the whole AI community. The developers building this technology, feel very strongly about kind of Anthropic standpoint or the standpoint of, not allowing governments to take full control, unilateral control of this technology.
Yeah, and I think I will say it's just not a hot take. This is like definitely a true prediction for the future. Like AI will definitely have a very strong hand in wars in the future.
For sure.
And so it's cool that they're doing this, but like at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you're still working for these companies. You're still working on these projects specifically that
true.
like you are like vehemently opposed to, like to the point where you're publicly going against your own CEO to like talk about it. Yeah. So I'm like, I understand it. And again, like I obviously don't agree with a lot of these things too, but that's not the line. Like I don't give you credit for that.
That fair.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's performative?
It's performative. It's very
yeah.
performative.
'Cause you still,
And I understand
right?
people are leaving. People are leaving.
Okay,
I will
yeah.
say that. I'll give that to them. But like people that aren't leaving, I understand like you have a family and stuff. But it's
I mean,
like, bro.
I just saw. I wish I remembered his name. He leads OpenAI's one of the research departments, but he just left for Anthropic actually. I just saw it today.
Yeah, I sent that.
Yeah.
Max.
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 Yeah. No, I agree with you. Of course, Musk, side of Trump said Anthropic hates Western civilization.
Okay, dude.
Anthropic hates straight Chinese men.
What is it? Straight
Yeah.
Chinese. Chinese and white people. What did he say?
One of the funny things based off what you said about AI playing a big part in the war, like I wouldn't be surprised if, especially maybe not our generation, but the generation that grows up AI native, like, dude, like AI might determine a lot of wars. You know what I'm saying? Like in that, like you give it the LLM,
We talked about this. Like we could I mean, forget about like wars. I mean, just the Justice Department, like just like trials.
Because like, are you really gonna say like, imagine if like the LLM you hecka trust tells you to and it's way smarter than it is right now, because 50 years from now tells you do not go to war. Like you're really gonna say like, nah, we're going. Like I really doubt that.
No, there will be for sure. But like, yeah, I mean,
which is also scary. It's like,
Yeah,
dang, what happened to
That's
human
kind of
agency?
like a big brother dystopian world.
Dystopian,
we're talking
I
It's
was
already
just
happening.
gonna
Did
say.
you guys hear about there was the U.S. Army guy recently? I think it was like 5 months ago.
Didn't we talk about it?
No,
leaking?
that was different. That was not the Indian guy. There's another guy.
remember that.
But he used ChatGPT to just like not to like go to war and stuff, but he was using ChatGPT to like, okay, he had thousands of soldiers under his belt, and he was like, okay, like what should I do? Like, should I go here? Where should I like place it? So it's like it's already happening.
Yeah, I mean, they're already using it for deliberation. They're already using it on like kind of like whether or not going on the offense is worth it. I don't know. I mean, yeah, like, and also what you said about the employees is trying to make sense. Like, this is not This is not social democracy.
performative, dude. It's so
There's no
performative.
worker union that has control over companies like this.
You can leave, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also leave. However, like they do have families.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm like, bro, like if you're that good, if you're
mean, yeah,
that good
especially
AI
those
researcher,
researchers,
you can
yeah.
get another job. Like I promise you. And I understand like people that aren't working on these projects where it's like, dude, what the heck, man. But if
Yeah.
you're like willingly working on these projects, you took the job.
Yeah.
No.
You took
I
a job.
agree with that. It's like people who say like I don't agree with everything Northrop Grumman does, but I need a job. What the heck?
Like, bro, like
You don't agree with everything they do?
like imagine and like I'm not gonna like get too far in history because I don't want to like start getting canceled on YouTube, but like there are very specific parts of history where if we use the same logic that we're using today to them, we'd give them a pass, you know, particularly in World War II era.
Oh,
Okay,
so
yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying like I was just a part of the system?
Hey, man, I have a family. I had to make money. It's
That's
like,
true.
okay. You
Yeah,
don't
I
get,
can see
again, this is
that.
completely different.
Yeah.
But it is on the same, you're still
Same
bombing
line of
people.
It's
reasoning.
true. What is 300 Google employees to one CEO?
Exactly, bro.
What is
But,
60
and I'm not saying to like go rush
employees?
Sam Altman and like, you know, I'm not saying to do any of that, but I'm like, be less
Are
performative.
you inferring that they should have a coup d'etat?
No, I'm not.
A coup d'etat.
I'm not.
French Revolution style.
But I think
OpenAI.
employees have more. I think a group of employees have more power than they think they do.
Well,
Do you think so? I don't think so.
Dude, 300 employees. They're gonna fire
Okay.
300 of their best AI employees.
Okay, that's
Are you
true.
kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, you're right.
It
You're right.
seems
Yeah, are
like
you
the people
kidding
want
me?
a social democracy, though.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to just go into the AI. We're already talking about ethics. Let's just go
Okay.
closer
Okay.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
let's
hop
do
into
it.
it.
Okay. And so, kind of what I'm saying and what we talked about before, but what occurred after this ChatGPT Sam Altman thing that just happened where they signed the contract was the cancel ChatGPT movement.
Yeah.
So essentially, the cancel ChatGPT movement went viral across the internet, particularly on Reddit and X, but like also on like
Which makes
Instagram
sense,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. And so as a result of that, people like started deleting ChatGPT. They like started canceling a lot of their subscriptions, and that's kind of what raised Claude to #1 in the App Store that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but like there were people doing like anti-OpenAI graffiti in SF, and also
Yeah.
like pro-Anthropic. Like, I saw one that was like, "Anthropic, we love you," like on the sidewalk or something.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh
like,
my God.
it is interesting. But
Daughter was probably creaming.
yeah, and then also like they started digging up more about like like donations and stuff like that, and they found that OpenAI president Greg Brockman donated $25 million to a pro-Trump super PAC,
Yeah.
which was like, oh, interesting. Like you're signing a deal with the government and you already donated to the government.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So. What do you guys think about this cancel ChatGPT movement? We've kind of heard of it as a cancel AI movement in the past, but now it's very specific to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I think it's so interesting that ChatGPT is a consumer company and Anthropic is the enterprise company. But it seems like Anthropic is leaning towards more like keeping the consumer's interest in the best favor. Whereas
Yeah.
OpenAI is kind of like maybe they're thinking, oh, we already have so much market share and such a head start above everybody else. We can take this defense contract. Do I think it's gonna like seep all their like market share?
Yeah.
Probably not, because people like are comfortable with what they like.
People are
Yeah.
gonna forget too, dude.
Yeah, people are gonna forget as well. However, honestly, like right now is a pretty contentious time. Everything is like pretty up in the air as well. A lot of different companies do get boycotted for whatever reason. This could be effective for Anthropic in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the other boycotts we've seen though. Starbucks, McDonald's, Target.
Yeah.
Where do we see them today?
And those are in person too. I'd say it's even harder for people to move off software. Like
Yeah.
Robinhood's got canceled so many times by its users, and they keep on
Yeah.
coming back. And a trend in like, it's one of like the principles of like consumer tech is like consumers are like generally will once there's a market winner of a market, and I'm not gonna call GPT the winner yet, but they are the
Leader.
large incumbent, and yeah, and when it comes to consumer AI usage and like that chatbot, kind of interface, it's kind of hard to get people off it just because they're comfortable with it, especially something like AI where it has so much memory and stuff like that. And like I mentioned earlier in this like episode, like Claude did hit #1, and everyone knows like I'm a huge Claude fan.
Right.
Claude is like the main one I use, but the gap is still humongous. So imagining it closing the gap, I can't see happening. I've said this for a while. I think the positioning that Claude probably wants to get, and what I think it's working towards, is kind of branding itself akin to like an Apple or Mac in like the ecosystem. And then, whereas GPT is more so like Microsoft or Windows, right?
Right.
So Claude is kind of like the more premier brand, the more like, kind of the, I don't know, so the branding of Macs are just cleaner, right? All three of us have Macs right here. But PCs are still by and large used by more people. There's way more Android phones than there are iPhones, but like the gold standard is iPhone. I think that's kind of the play. If I was Claude or Anthropic, that's kind of what I'd be going for. And this is a tailwind for that, because this negative sentiment could make a lot of people feel like, okay, if I'm into tech, or if I'm, because even here. Like the reason why it's red and X is because that probably has the most tech forward people. You know, I
Yeah.
still think like, some people from Instagram and you know the rest
TikTok and stuff,
are
yeah.
here like Noah Claude is, but for by and large it's still just tech
It's still
people.
tech Twitter, yeah.
People who are aware of technology, you know, will be the ones who pick up Claude. And those are the people who are going to spend the most on technology.
Right.
Most people are not going to want to spend money on
Yeah.
AI at all.
It was interesting to see though that like free active users of Claude is up 60%
Yeah.
since January, and people forget we were just low key roasting Claude like last
for
month.
messing
Yeah.
with the Super Bowl.
For the Super Bowl
Yeah,
ads,
we were.
and they were talking about AI,
Yeah.
like they're ruining AI sentiment, blah blah blah. Look at them now, number one on the App Store.
Exactly.
So
I
like,
mean, things change so fast as people make
yeah,
decisions. You know?
that's why
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about this too. Like, do you think consumer trust matters?
Yeah.
Does it though?
I'd say
Because
so.
I remember 2016,
Cambridge
2017?
Analytica? Is that what
Cambridge,
you
I was talking about Facebook.
Yeah.
Where everyone was like, yo, we're boycotting Facebook. Forget about Facebook. We hate Facebook. You're on Instagram. You're on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. You're on Instagram. So do we really care?
Hey, man, I was 11. I don't remember that.
Yeah, but like still, like right, like Meta has always been in the news for. I mean, they're
From
just
the
they're getting sued
beginning.
right now.
Yeah, like, dude. And this
That's
is
true
kind
as
of what
well.
I was saying, dude. Like, with these software, like, it is so much easier for you to open up an app than it is for you to go to Target and go to Starbucks. And even those boycotts didn't work.
Yeah.
And, like, the amount of kind of, was it dopamine that these, like, apps provide you with and, like, the instant gratification, it is going to be really difficult for... Like I can't even think of what is a software company that failed because of like a controversy or because people were boycotting it. If they fail, it's because they just
It sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I
if
can't
it
even
works,
think
it
of one.
works. Like, I can't think of one.
That's true as well. Yeah.
Like I really
Yeah,
can't think
actually.
of one.
But I think also like we're talking about cases where like the product is just so good, it's kind of like the gold standard, the monopoly of it. I think right now with this current AI LLM, there's not a clear winner way.
Yeah, that is
That is true.
So honestly, this may have actually some like play in the game, just because both of these products, I think like they're good. Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Opus, we like Codex is good as
Codex
well.
is
We
good,
like
yeah.
Cloud
Codex is
Code.
good, yeah.
So honestly, like this could matter in the long run, just because. Like let's be so for real. Like it's between Anthropic and OpenAI right now.
Yeah, no
for
one
who's
else
gonna
is
be the
close.
winner of this
Yeah.
game. And it seems like Anthropic is making good. Like is like has a tailwind behind them. But OpenAI does have like already such a large gap.
Yeah, they're
Things
Goliath.
change fast. All we can know.
But
like,
honestly, like the culture looks like it's shifting.
It does. We'll see. I mean, we'll see again. We'll see how long it lasts.
and it's changing. It is shifting, but yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I was gonna say it's shifting in tech, but like we were mentioning, this is about everyday consumers that are going towards.
I
Anthropic
don't hear
and
anyone
Claude.
say I'm gonna go Claude it. It's
it's still
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No,
very true.
Yeah, and real quick, Ben Thompson. I want to talk about this a little
Yeah,
bit.
I saw this.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
so
ahead,
Ben
go ahead.
Thompson. You want to talk about it, Jaden?
No, go
So
for
Ben Thompson's like an American businessman. He works at Apple, Microsoft, and he has a huge newsletter called Strawcherry. Did I pronounce Strawcherry? Am I pronouncing that right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in Strawcherry, he wrote an article called "Anthropic and Alignment," and he essentially said what I said earlier about what the other guy said. I think his name was Ben Wallace. I think right. Anyways, essentially that like international law
His name is
like
Ben Wallace.
no, okay, I have to read it now. His name is Dean. Wait, the Dean Ball. So off.
I was like 4-time defensive player of the year, Ben Wallace.
I just let him walk, bro.
Dean Ball. Anyways, Dean Ball. So very similar to what Dean Ball said in the terms of like international law is not real because it's all about who can enforce the law and who has the power, right? No one like and. I think it brings up a great point, and he got a lot of backlash for this. But for example, like Nilay Patel, who's on The Verge, he said that like this is basically just like fascism. You're just talking about fascism. Whoever has the most power can do whatever they want, which is very true. But what he says is true because I thought about it. The UN, right? Where it's like the UN, technically United Nations, all the nations, 150
but
nations,
it's just
whatever.
the U.S.
Who has the number one veto power? The
Yeah.
United States. If the United States vetoes something in the UN, it will not pass.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if everyone else like says it's true. So it's interesting to see like where this goes. Again, this goes back to the whole idea of like does government tell like corporations what to do?
Yeah.
And so who should decide what AI should do?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Ben Thompson talked about in his article is also like very aligned to kind of what I was mentioning earlier about the two different sides, right? And it's interesting how, I said this earlier, but the side that traditionally is for less government control is the side that is pushing to regulate Anthropic, whereas
Yeah.
the people who usually want bigger governments and more government regulation on companies are like, let's let this product do what it wants. And it's also ironic that and I saw someone, this is, my mind's going different places, but I saw someone talk about this on Twitter that I thought was interesting too, is AI is supposed to be this kind of centralizing force and this force that, like centralizes power to the government, and crypto was supposed to be like decentralized, like power to the people. But it's ironic that like the people who, like this administration like, oh, I'm trying to think of this point, but like this administration, like that is very pro crypto and has like a, like the AI cryptos are, what's his name? David Sachs.
Yeah, David
and
Sachs.
have done all these things to deregulate crypto. They're the ones doing a lot of the oversight and all the overreaching in government. And then Anthropic, this AI company, is here like trying to deregulate and trying to, have less government enforcement.
Yeah.
So I just think those forces are, it's interesting how these paradigms have kind of shifted on their head.
And it's ironic because, sorry, Eric, were you gonna say something?
No, you're good.
I would say like it's ironic because Anthropic is actually down to be like, yo, let's regulate AI. They're saying let's do it through Congress. Where it's like, yo, let's actually pass laws to like make sure people aren't abusing AI. And they're just all they're saying is like, yo, the government, like without laws, without like votes and power, don't tell us what to do because we don't know what you're gonna use it for. This is our product, we built it.
Yeah.
And the government's like, no, like it's just no. So it's very interesting because I want to point that out. Like they are pushing for regulation. It's just like they want to do it the right way. The same way Obama was trying to do, like for example, Don't Ask, Don't Tell back in the day, where he got a huge pushback in the military because people were like, especially liberals, were like, yo, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, just sign an executive order. We can get rid of it in the military. But he was like, no, we have to do it through Congress because then it's very hard to overturn it. Like if Obama had done Don't Ask, Don't Tell at executive power, it would have been gone by now.
Yeah,
like
for
they
sure,
would have just done
100%.
it. So like they're trying to do it the right way. And we're seeing like this large overstepping of power, like you're saying.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, and this is more of like a politics question, or not even politics question, but like I guess like a law of power. I don't know. Is like, is it better to do it the right way and it works slow and you might not be able to do that movement, or for you just to do it and like deal with it, like strongman it, right? Like, and that's kind of what the motto.
I think when it comes like with the government, you got to be pragmatic, right? Like you have to do it the right way. And yeah, it's just interesting, like we say now, because like I think we're seeing like a large flip. Like this current government, they really like free market and like prediction markets and crypto,
Hypothetically,
which are supposed to be decentralized,
Yeah.
right? And then the other side is supposed to be more free market consumer. So it seems like they're against it, right?
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, I think Anthropic is like correct on what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out Anthropic.
Okay.
Nah, they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing.
Is there again Dario or Sam Altman? If you want to talk about this, come on the show. So
Yeah,
what's happening
exactly.
with the cat table?
Yeah, Dario, you've been looking tea recently too.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on Twitter, dude. He looks
Dario,
good. He
you've been
looks
looking
good.
tea.
He's just shining.
Yeah.
It's like skin is shining.
But
Pause.
we've had a pretty heavy episode so far.
Dude.
Yeah.
Lightened up.
So let's talk about some startups.
Yeah, why don't we let in the mood? So we're gonna do NGMI or GMI. This is a segment where we bring up a company, we blindly say what it does, what it's about, and then the other two of us, we say whether or not it's NGMI or GMI.
Let's go for it. Do you want me to go for it? No, I'll go second.
Okay.
All right.
I have an interesting
I'll
one.
talk about my company. All right, this company is essentially it looks, and I don't have the most context into it, but it
Okay.
looks like it's trying to re-envision and remake what fandoms mean in our modern day, utilizing AI. It kind of looks like a Perplexity for AI. You guys are familiar with Perplexity? It's like the AI powered search engine, something like that, but combined with GPT, combined with some Reddit-esque features. So it hasn't come out yet, so I can't say exactly what the products does.
Yeah. What's the name?
Specifically, Lore. It's called
Lore,
Lore.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's trying to re-envision fandom. So like I've seen them do a lot of teasers with like, I think it was Stranger Things, and then like someone like posted a theory, and then like it connected the theories to other theories users were like had, and like the LLM like synthesized and like, yeah, kind of did all that type of stuff. It was pretty interesting. Yeah. Is there any other questions you guys have about it, about Lore?
Is it out yet? It's not out yet.
It's not out yet. It's coming
Okay.
soon, like very soon. I
Wait,
think
so I want to get some context. So basically, like, let's say I have a cap table like theory where it's like, I think Eric and Jaden are secretly dating.
Okay.
And I like, put it in this thing, and it'll connect it to other people essentially.
Yeah, and it'll connect to fans that may also agree with the same theory.
Yeah, I think so. Like,
Okay.
they'll see like it'll either connect it to I think the theory if it exists, or it'll create that theory if it doesn't exist.
So the reason why this is different than Reddit is because it connects it.
It connects it, and I also think it like I don't know, it just uses like AI, LLM.
Because I feel like Reddit does this already.
Yeah, that's true.
like r/survivor.
But have you seen the launch video? It's hard, bro.
I haven't seen the
Like,
launch
it's
video.
coded.
I'm not gonna lie, like I really don't understand.
I'm confused on that.
Also, it hasn't come out yet. I'm really just basing this off of like a really cool launch video. So it hasn't come out. And I'm also doing like a poor job of explaining exactly what it does. But essentially, it.
Wait, what? What?
Look at the.
Look at my NG and my GMI.
Wait. Why would you put that? It's a joke.
You guys are never gonna know what I put.
No, we gotta cut that.
What do you mean gotta cut it? They don't know what I put.
Okay, anyways, yeah, lore.
Shout out to Laura.
What do we think about lore?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say based off your description, and just because I don't see how this is any different from Reddit, and like for them to like really supersede Reddit, they need a large user count, which is something they don't have. You're still laughing about my NGMI GMI?
Nah, screw that. You guys look at the launch video, bro. They're
Okay, wait, let's watch the video.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
All right, no, live reaction.
Live reaction to the launch video? Yeah.
It's not a minute long. It's too long. We'll cut it.
GMI.
GMI?
NGMI.
NGMI.
I don't know.
I'm also gonna say NGMI.
Yeah.
I just really feel like this is a product that doesn't need to exist.
And how's it gonna make money? Just selling data?
I mean, maybe you have to,
I think advertisers.
advertisers, yeah. Maybe your advertisers
That's
like
what Reddit makes
show you
NGMI.
stuff. I mean, isn't that most like
Yeah.
So we've also learned it aggregates from many different
Many sources.
and you can make theories and make a bunch of stuff.
NGMI for me.
I don't know. I'm just like again like
The video's cool.
this like the video is very
Video's
cool,
cool.
but like
This is kind of just Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. Lore founders, come on the show.
yeah, Lord Founder,
That's
if you
what
want to
actually
explain the
does.
product,
Yeah,
come on.
I was basing it off a really cool launch video I watched. To be fair, I believe in you guys just because that launch video was so cool.
It was
and
cool.
then I like stalked one of the founders' Twitter, and I was like, it seems like she knows what she's talking about.
There you go.
It seems like there's founder market fit.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think we're not part of that audience, so maybe we don't know.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
we're just not parasocial
Speak for
enough.
yourselves.
Yeah. Okay.
yourselves.
All right. Should I
Okay.
go next?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so mine is Cupid Dating. So Cupid Dating is an in-person blind dating show, popular on many different college campuses. Started at UT Austin, and now they're going on a full, I think they're on a full college tour, and soon to be a full India tour.
India.
India tour.
Yeah, so
Are we
basically what they
going?
do is like.
Like cap table goes to India.
Yo, that
and we live stream it.
Yo, that'd be pretty good actually. But essentially, yeah, they have in-person like events. You can buy tickets. I think anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people show up. They're selling out shows across the country, by the way. And they recently bought Dorm Party Live, which Dorm Party Live is kind of like the Omegle for like
bought it.
They bought it.
They bought it.
For how much?
Undisclosed amount, but they bought it. So essentially, Dorm Party Live is like a Omegle for
Isn't
college.
Cupid bootstrapped?
They are bootstrapped, but I think they're pre-seed.
Motion.
I mean, they're
Well, so
selling
they-
out thousands of shows or hundreds
so
of
they have
shows
some
a
type
year.
of money,
so,
yeah.
And I'm sure they have some funding, I will say. But yeah, they've been today. I think they've have over 150 million views generated, featured on Fox, Fox News. They have 21 straight sold out shows. The last 21 straight shows have been sold out, and everyone's dropped out. So
This
yeah.
is this startup is based upon entertainment.
It's an in-person. Right now, it's in-person.
It's like a
entertainment.
traveling circus.
Yeah, and
A traveling circus.
What? Isn't that what it is? It's a traveling show.
Like you could say a tour. Like
yeah, the tour. Like it's Kendrick a traveling circus, or the Lakers a traveling circus.
They technically are.
I guess. Also, I want to point out they've recently got into the prediction market game.
Nice.
Where you can, in these person live shows, you can like bet live on whether these people are going to date within the show. So
Okay. Is there going to be insider trading there, contestants? Like they agree,
Probably.
like,
I don't see how not.
Yo, this guy's chopped. My girlfriend's fucking bet no.
yeah, I don't see how there couldn't be. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like, or are they going to be in the NDA of dooms?
And I also don't understand how like the liquidity is going to be there.
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah, that's my question. It's like, I'd assume it's not a traditional market because if you just have people voting that are at the show, I'd assume you, like you said, like how the market, the buy and sell side for any given prop would work is pretty interesting. But I'm surely they have like some like model worked out. Not model.
Yeah,
like,
maybe
model
they'll start
as in,
live
like-
streaming it. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
on the
No,
internet.
not model like
Okay,
large
but then
language
there
model,
still
but-
needs to be volume.
Yeah, yeah.
No matter what.
I mean, they're selling out shows, bro, and
Okay, yeah,
now they own Dorm Party Live, so they can just live stream the show.
If you have
on
like
Dorm Party.
1,000 people making the bet, I don't know. I'm curious how they're gonna move the prop, like, or the percentage if it's a prediction market, like.
Yeah, if it's live time.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure they've thought of this through and they have some rationale. I'll say GMI. I mean, they're already making revenue. They're already doing the thing. So I'll say GMI. I think one of the more difficult parts is it's hard to see, just because this is based off a live event, like their Lifeblood is a live event, it's hard to see like how high this can scale up to, like kind of what's the end goal there. But if it's bootstrapped right now, right? If the goal isn't to raise, if the goal isn't to be like a multi-billion-dollar company and it's just to, have a good solid business that makes money,
Yeah.
like GMI.
Yeah, I'm gonna say GMI too for the dating show part. I think the prediction market part, it's still a little bit messy, unclear. You need a lot of volume for that. Who knows if they're gonna be able to like get that volume? A lot of the time is like whales too, like keep a lot of like gambling sites up. I don't think there's gonna be whales on Cupid Dating.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say GMI though. I think
You don't
it's
think Jane
interesting.
Street is gonna invest?
I don't know if Jane Street's gonna be betting on whether or not someone says yes or no. But no, I think it's cool. I think like with live shows and live entertainment, that's something that AI can't replace.
We talked about that.
And we've seen a lot of them like blow up in the past few years. I mean, Kill Tony's doing their thing.
Yeah.
The Blue Man Group.
Oh yeah, not in the last few years, but definitely.
Yeah, I only thought of Kill Tony.
Yeah, what they're trying to say
I mean,
is
it's like Jubilee too, right?
Jubilee
in person live shit.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Evan Rama, who's like the founder, basically says that they want to be the biggest thing in college or college sports or like college in general since Barstool Sports.
Okay.
And so I was wrong. It's not just India now. It's India, London, Australia, and Canada.
Okay, there we
Like
go.
90 university world tour.
Yeah, and Barstool, like, right, that sold for, was it 300 million or maybe even more?
Maybe
300 million.
Yeah, maybe even more. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think like GMI in that sense.
I do think one thing they're gonna have to like think about though is like Barstool was more of like a media company.
Yeah.
This is more entertainment. Barstool like had a lot of distribution, a lot of people that looked at their stuff. They were really big in the sports news and whatnot. They really embodied that frat boy culture. Cupid Dating is gonna have their own wedge, but yeah, best of luck to them.
Yeah, but we have said it before, and I think like now it's probably a good time to. We mentioned this in our group before, like that we are pretty bullish on live events and in-person stuff.
Yeah.
You talked about it, like in a world where AI can do everything, it can't play sports, right? It can't do like a live performance by your favorite artist.
Can't do a backflip like.
Can't, yeah, exactly. Well, you see those robots? They're doing backflips, but it can't do that. It can't replace that type of feeling, right? So
Yeah, bullish on Kate Cunningham then.
yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Bullish on 1B.
Bullish on one.
Boy,
I would bet
are
that.
you
I would bet my everything on 1B shit. Okay, my NGMI GMI was gonna be Cupid.
Oh, really? No way!
That's why I looked at you. I was like,
What the heck?
Wow. Well, there we go.
There we go.
well, you never said NGMI or GMI though.
I think I'm with you guys. Live person, I think GMI. I mean, the fact that they sold out 21 straight shows.
How about the prediction market part?
And GMI on the prediction market? I don't understand how that's gonna work.
Well,
dude.
Evan, come on the show and explain.
Yeah,
explain how you think it's
actually,
gonna work.
yeah, Evan,
we
come
open
on the show.
invite.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I think we have still some time for X timeline reactions, guys.
do
So
it.
let's
Yeah.
get into it.
You want me to
Yes,
like
here,
have you
I'll
guys blind
just-
react?
Here, I'll
Yeah,
close
we
my
can.
laptop.
Okay,
my laptop.
let me open like all these up at once. Have you guys seen these before? I mean, you guys
No,
seen
Some of them I might have just been on X,
I've seen them in the
but-
chat.
maybe
too.
just being on Twitter, but
All right,
yeah.
the first one. Burger King is now launching an AI chatbot that will assess workers' friendliness and be trained to recognize certain words and phrases like "Welcome to Burger King" and "Thank you." These AI will be programmed into their headsets, and they will be using them daily.
Oh, it's for workers?
It's for workers.
That's kind of a W use case.
Yeah, that is
Nah,
pretty.
dude. Oh god.
I mean, it's surveillance on the
It'll hear
largest
everything
part.
you say.
Yeah,
but-
that is kind of scary.
Yeah, like that is super
To
scary.
your coworkers, to your
Yeah.
mom on the phone.
No more coworker conversations.
At all.
I wonder if it's like a police thing where you can just turn off your.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, I think what I was thinking too is it's interesting because what they're going to do is like, what is the percentage that Jaden at Burger King is saying thank you? Like, if you don't say thank you 95% of the time, you're gonna get flagged red in the database and you're gonna get fired or whatever it is. Or like if
You know what? Well, it should be only picking up on like those key phrases that Burger King once said.
But it won't though. You know it won't.
I mean, yeah, it has to transcribe everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of equate it to like a shot collar. Because think about it. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because AI can do context now. So AI will take everything you say in that day, what percentage were positive things, negative things, and just BS things.
Honestly, it seems very unnecessary just because, like, if you go to, like, Chick-fil-A is a large fast food restaurant that has their employees on lock.
Yeah,
My
dude.
pleasure.
In-N-Out, same
Yeah,
thing.
In-N-Out as well. It just kind of comes down to management and your infrastructure built up to train up employees.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
interesting thing too is it seems like an expensive way to solve a problem. I'm not advocating for the automation of humans, but like, why don't you just get it like more chat, like more actual like AI.
Like an AI server.
Yeah,
thing,
exactly. Or it doesn't even be like like the little machines they have, and then like an AI server.
Yeah.
And that's actually like one use case of AI. I'm not. I guess I'm excited for is like customer service. Like they give you the robot or like a customer service,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have to wait so long to get on the call with the
Yeah.
person. Like hopefully in the future it could just be like an AI one that can just solve it for you right there.
Yeah.
I do
So-
like Burger King.
Oh.
Onion rings.
Hot take.
I like the onion. I like the onion rings. Onion rings are
I
pretty
like
good.
the
Chicken fries?
I like the Whopper a lot.
Hot takes, guys. Really
Okay.
hot
I
takes.
grew up on Burger King.
Oh, really? Oh, I was more of a McDonald's person, yeah. Okay, number 2. New graduates now account for just 7%
Yeah, that's crazy.
of big hires at big tech.
Holy shit.
Down from 25% in 2023 and over 50% pre-pandemic per Forbes.
Yeah, over 50% is insane, but that was that before the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean,
7%?
7% versus 25 and like literally 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago, really. Thoughts, concerns?
I mean, we talked about literally
A
this.
lot.
We talked about this a lot. We talked about how literally it was like when we graduated 2022 or year 2023. Like, yeah, you could see a stark difference in the amount of people who like were able to get jobs at like big tech companies before and afterwards. Yeah, I saw a tweet that's like, if you didn't graduate, I think you sent it too, before like 2022 or whatever, it's like you're part of the
I have it up. Should we talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the tweet Jaden's talking about. So it's a Reddit post on CS Careers, right? Yeah, r/CS Careers. So software engineering is now a closed caste.
Yeah.
If you weren't in by 2021, you're officially part of the permanent underclass. So if you didn't break into tech before 2022, you missed the last lifeboat. The junior role is dead, and the lucky ones who got in during the zero interest era have effectively pulled the ladder behind them. They're sitting on $300K plus salaries and 2% mortgages, while the rest of us are ghosted by 10-round interviews for roles that probably don't exist. We aren't job hunting anymore. We're just watching a privileged elite gatekeep the only high-paying career left.
Okay.
Wow.
I think that's true to an extent and also not true to another extent. I think
because where are they getting 2% mortgage rates from?
yeah, because we have no mortgage because like if you started your career in 2022,
Well, we didn't graduate in 2021, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like you had to graduate in like 2019. Honestly, you have enough capital.
We're borrowing rates that low?
Dude,
2%?
during COVID? Are you kidding me? They were like 1.5%, dude.
I am forgetting.
So people were like 2019, 2020 to where you were making like 300, 400K for like a year or two. Then you could get Amazon. Us, it's like we had just started our careers. So yeah, but that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about was the second part about there being no opportunities. I don't think there's no opportunities. I think you have to do a lot. It's not as simple as just applying for a job, getting the like lead coding, getting the job. You have to you have to be a lot more creative about how you market yourself, about how you find opportunities. You have to software engineering is not necessarily the optimal pathway anymore. There's things like working in marketing, working in a bunch of different fields, which you can make a lot of money for actually. A couple of years ago, it would have been almost impossible for like for example, which I'm sure there were people doing like some type of marketing that were like not really 20 years old or whatever, but
not really.
Now it's way more possible to do that. Yeah. So there's new opportunities. The opportunities evolved.
I mean, Blake Anderson doesn't know how to code really.
Yeah,
Still a company for allegedly 100 million.
There's so many different opportunities that have arisen now. So it's not as clear for someone who's of the mode of this is the clear path I'm going to take. These are the things I have to do. Yeah, it's more difficult because that clear path doesn't exist anymore. But if you're resourceful, I think it's not like there isn't money in the tech ecosystem. There was arguably more money now than there was back then. There's a bunch of money in it. You just have to be more resourceful about it.
This applies really like to like entry-level software engineers just because AI can like streamline it, right? And like automate it, and then it leaves the mid-level senior executives to handle like overseeing it. I mean, in the last year, we've seen over 3 million unique companies be created as a result of AI, and like productivity increases, the economy as well as positively correlated.
Right.
I think it's just people who are looking at such a hard-nosed path. I mean, which makes sense as well. Like when you're in school and you have this direction from people who are telling you to major in CS and go into software engineering, it feels like that's your only option, and they don't really see anything outside, but like beside that. However, I think now in this new era, like you got to like really look at every option in tech. It's not only coding, you know.
Yeah. And you can start a company, and maybe the grass is always greener. But I look at people who are in college right now, and I'm like extremely envious. I'm like, dang, if I was in college right now, where I was
company off the bat, dude.
Yeah, if I had way more free time, like I could just work on side projects all the time, try to get funding, you know.
Yeah, back end, front end, full stack design.
You could do everything. You could do everything.
Yeah, PM, dude.
Even just like editing like little parts of the logo.
Yeah, it's insane. So there's downsides, but I think there's also a lot of opportunity today.
Yeah, I mean big tech, but other opportunity exists.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. Xbox files a patent for AI helpers to help control your character to play challenging segments for you.
Bruh. I think this is removing the fun out of a video game.
It kind of does remove the point. I think it would be cool. I saw this and I thought it would be cool if, like, say you're like you don't have any siblings or whatever. If like on multiplayer mode, you could play against like an AI. I guess
There already is
that.
that already happens.
Yeah, but like, what if it talked to me?
Like-
On 2K, you have people that talk to you in cutscenes.
That's true. That's true.
yeah,
That's true.
I guess you're right.
Bruh, no, this is you're just such
No,
you are a pussy if you can't play
No,
like
I'm laughing because I literally described like multiplayer.
Yeah, any like AI like
I'm so LLM filled. I'm like, what if the LLM
bruh,
controlled it?
you tell me you can't fucking complete Dark Souls and Skyrim on your own. You need
Yeah, like,
AI to help you out.
it's
What
ridiculous.
a pussy!
Yeah,
you know
it's
what you would do? You would look up a walkthrough on YouTube.
exactly. Back in the day, you had to do walkthroughs,
Yeah.
guys. You didn't have AI. To
I
help
remember
you.
being stuck on the 7th gym of Pokemon Diamond Snow Gym, going
classic.
through the snowballs and
Classic.
just figure it out.
Classic.
Now you need an AI to help figure it out. Get the fuck out of
BS,
here.
BS.
Yeah.
It would be cool if they integrated that into games though, because I always thought those guides were hard.
What?
Were you young enough where you got to use the books? I used to
Yeah,
play the Zelda games.
I
with
was.
books.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
sometimes I couldn't figure out even with the book.
You know what's the worst guide ever? The Minecraft books.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
I
hard,
never-
so-
I never-
You need to make an iron door for the Nether.
Yeah, so the kids are lucky because now like the AI could just be like,
No, you
have
have really good
But what if it is
walkthroughs
talking
on
to you?
YouTube,
What if it's like talking to you instead? It's just
No,
like, oh, you
bro,
gotta-
the point of the point.
Okay, but that is different though. But like,
What?
not to have the game played
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, no, that's silly.
Like, bruh.
But what if you just want to watch someone play? It's like a let's play.
Then you just watch a let's play.
Nah, but I want to be able to grab the sticks and play myself.
Nah,
What are you
ridiculous.
talking
Nah,
about?
I
ridiculous.
can like go back and forth with it.
No, this is taking the fun out of it. And also, like,
Yeah.
isn't part of getting past a hard level, a hard boss fight, like overcoming the Sisyphusian like climb?
That's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
That's true. That's
I
the
agree.
whole like.
They're running from the grind, like Dame says.
That's
Yeah,
no, you're right. That's like the whole like business model of like the Dark Soul.
It's
Elden
super
Ring.
hard.
It's supposed to be hard.
Or like
Yeah.
Cuphead too.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. Right now, the Dow Jones has dropped over 1,000 points. If that holds, it would be the 14th time in history it has happened, in American history. Donald Trump was president 12 out of those 14 times.
Yeah.
Who's Dow Jones? She sounds bad. Like, she's so bad though.
It's a stock index.
She's so bad right now. Yeah, stock index that measures performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it would be interesting. I will say, to give President Trump some leeway here, he was president during COVID for a lot of the times. So the Dow Jones did drop a lot during that era, but
Yeah.
I don't think the tariffs definitely helped.
Yeah, and also, I mean, oil costs are rising right now because
Yeah.
of certain events.
Unfortunate.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of it, he kind of shoots himself in the own foot.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I feel like because markets are also at their all-time high. I'll give them that too. Like we have to be honest here.
But that's
Yeah.
just how inflation works, though.
Not always though. It goes.
I think he didn't do anything for AI.
But
That was- he
generally,
just happened
as
to
the
get
world
lucky.
progresses,
That's
there's
true.
just more money.
Yeah, that's true. But equities have been performing well. But like your point, he's very volatile, right? He says he does volatile things, and the markets don't like uncertainty. The markets react
Yeah.
poorly to it, and I think that's a part of the reason why he's had such volatile days. It's funny. I remember like one time the market climbed like I forgot how much the Dow climbed. It was over 1,000. There was a lot. It was like one of its biggest
Yeah.
one-day gain. But it was because he did something that made it drop, and the next day he was like, "Yep, look like this is the biggest day ever." And it's because he changed course on what he was gonna do. So
Lol, never mind.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Yeah,
That's
I don't-
funny.
It is interesting, but like, yeah, he has been given like some hard cards. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
But
but
I
he's,
mean-
again, he shot himself in the foot
Yeah,
though.
but 12,
Yeah.
12 times.
12 times, 12, and
is
like
a
12
lot.
out of the 14 or 13 allegedly, but like yeah.
Especially since like Republicans are supposed to be a lot more economically friendly.
Yeah, I'll also say,
Reagan.
was it on a percentage, like the percentage based or like point based?
It's point based, no?
Point like 1,000 points.
Oh, well then also it makes sense because if it's bigger, a smaller percentage drop is a larger.
True, but like
No, that does make an impact. No, it's like the Dow's almost like doubled in the past, like since 2000.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like the scope is, but
mean,
yeah, he is very volatile.
It's
Like,
just,
Yeah.
it's just economy's growing, more money's coming in.
Yeah.
Tech as well. Like we have the Magnificent Seven, and also like I mean, even in this like recent like kind of turmoil of the markets, what holds the Nasdaq because it's
Yeah.
built on tech stock.
Yeah.
strength.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, this turmoil is nothing to like. Honestly, like compared to like 2022,
It was
2021,
bad.
and
Even like 23 when the big drop happened?
yeah, maybe that's the drop I'm talking. It was like
Yeah.
2022, 2023.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still in for like an actual drop. This to me is like,
Yeah,
a-
but we've been saying that for a long time. It's like when people talk about like the stock market dropping, the only time it's really dropped is 2008 and 2020. That's the real. Everything else has
2023 was a pretty. I actually think.
But it
We're
got
not gonna
fixed-
talk
it got
about
fixed within, like,
the
6
Great
months.
Depression.
No, as someone who's
Okay,
as
recently.
someone, I actually argue as someone who's like was really, I mean, still into the markets, but was extremely into the markets then. I'd actually say the 2023 dip, 2022, 2023 dip was worse than like the COVID one. The COVID
No,
one was
but-
really quick, and it popped right back up.
But
It passed
2023
it.
low-key popped back up after like 6 months.
2023 was like. It took maybe like it was over the span. It was long. It went down like a lot slower.
There was
and over
also a
longer
few
time.
Black Swan events though.
No, the
Yeah.
2021.
Oh,
Yeah, 2023 is a different one.
I'm
I
talking-
don't know what
I'm
happened.
talking about 2023.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what happened.
2023 was just more. I mean, it had been. It was like the market
A long
works in
time
cycles,
coming.
right?
Huh?
Not to get like hella into like finance or whatever, but the market works in cycles.
Yeah.
There was a big bull run after
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think like a lot of tech companies especially realized we hire too much, we're overstretched.
Makes sense.
And then the FTX collapse in 2022.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
crypto.
This is a bunch of things, yeah.
Okay, last one. Eric's gonna love this one. The Chinese circular gooner economy.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah,
So apparently,
the Chinese circular gooner.
So-
He's a part of it.
yeah, there you go. There you go. So essentially, the way it works, hypothetically, but this is apparently what's happening in China, in many parts of China. Delivery drivers are working 12-hour shifts on Meituan. Am I saying that right? Meituan?
Yeah.
So it's essentially what it is. It's a buying platform in China. And they're
Like a
tipping-
DoorDash or something?
Kind of like a DoorDash, but you can buy like a bunch of things. It's kind of like a Grubhub, but like
Grubhub.
whatever. Like it's I forgot what it's called.
GoPuff.
Yeah, like GoPuff. Okay, but essentially what they do is they make this money after these like 12-hour, 14-hour shifts and tip their earnings to e-girls live streaming on Douyin. Douyin, am I saying that right?
Douyin.
Douyin, which is like the TikTok equivalent.
Yeah, it's TikTok, right?
Yeah, it's TikTok
literally
equivalent.
TikTok.
Okay, so again, they're working these like long shifts, tipping e-girls on these websites.
Tough.
These girls, in China, these girls are like literally live streaming like 12, 14 hours a day. They're so tired that they order their food from Meituan, which is like the food app.
Yeah.
So essentially, then they order it then, and then the same drivers deliver it. So it's this like circular gooner economy where this guy's working, tipping, she's spending money again on the same app, and he's delivering it and making more money.
Wow. So you're telling me life imitates the economy of AI because that's what NVIDIA and OpenAI also do?
Circular, yeah. Circular.
That's kind of healthy.
Maybe.
I mean, at least the money's going in a circle as opposed to just going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an interesting.
I don't
market.
have much.
Yeah,
to
I don't know if there's thoughts on that.
Yeah,
It's just
there's,
funny.
there's not many thoughts.
It was just funny.
It's like, I don't know.
I mean, one thing I'll say is America heading towards the same path? The circular American, will it be the American gooner economy next?
Well, you're saying Uber Eats driver goes home, donates on Cam Soda, and then the Cam Soda driver Uber Eats.
I don't even know what Cam Soda is.
Yeah,
How do you know what that is?
Heck is
It's I don't know.
What is Cam? Wait, actually, what is Cam?
No.
It's like a live webcamming website.
Oh, yeah, you would
How
know.
do you know that?
You would
Get the
know.
fuck out of here!
W Gooner, dude.
We're not
the
doing
real
this.
Chinese Gooner.
We're not doing this right now. We're not doing this.
One interesting thing, I sent the article yesterday just in the subject of China, and they're like, we talk a lot about like China's like social, to be a young 20s person in China. But one interesting thing is that you guys saw what I sent where it's like they're retiring super young there and they're moving to like rural areas.
Yeah, like abandoned like apartments down here.
Yeah. But I thought that was kind of cool, bro. Like, so honestly, like imagine just having money saved up and they're just like, yeah, just vibe. I just like live for enjoyment now. I don't live for
That's true.
to be a corporate wage slave anymore.
That's true, but you could do that. You could do that too if you just worked until you're 30 and then just moved to Utah, dude, or like
Yeah, I know.
Wyoming.
Like Utah, you said?
Yeah.
Nah.
Why do you
Utah.
always say Utah?
Utah.
Like Watanabe, bro. Like, come on.
Watanabe, Utah.
Yeah, honestly, like you could just move to Vermont.
Yeah, true. It doesn't hit the same when I actually put in the context
exactly.
of America.
It's like, bro, it's the same for them.
What do you
Yeah.
think doesn't hit the same? Do you think the Chinese rural landscape is that pretty?
No, I don't think.
No, but it's the same for like.
I mean, I've seen pictures though. It does look stupid.
Grass is greener, bro. Grass.
You're
is
also looking at the prettiest.
Yeah,
picture.
I promise you,
that's-
Wyoming's very pretty.
Yeah, that's
I
also
promise you,
true.
go to Yellowstone. I
But
promise
it
it's
just
very
hits
pretty.
different in China.
Like
bro.
New Hampshire.
It just hits different.
It's like the meme that the like getting food in America versus getting food in like, Japan. Yeah, like,
It's just like a filter on it.
Exactly. I can just imagine like it's just like it's so scenic imagining me in like the Chinese countryside.
that's not. No, it's not.
And then I imagine myself in Montana. I'm like, bruh. Like, wanna be
Montana's very pretty, by the
Wanna
way.
be Kanye, bro.
But
Like
it's very pretty, bro.
What do you
Cormac-
mean?
Cormac
That
Kanye.
album cover's beautiful though.
Yeah, bro. That's
It is,
beautiful.
but it's not gonna hit the same
Alright.
because I'm not Kanye.
We're getting off topic.
Okay,
Yeah.
should we close it out?
Yeah, let's close it off. Yeah, so talked about a lot today. Is there anything we want to harp on specifically, guys, before we end it off?
Shoot, man.
I mean, there's a lot of topics.
All right, I'll say, I think the winner of the AI market is going to be decided this year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. I will say first AI-powered missile this year.
Well, I mean, it probably already happened.
Yeah, true. Honestly, like, we don't actually know. I think I will say this. I think that now more than ever, every university needs to have at least 4 or 5 AI ethics courses for its computer science and computer engineering majors.
Yeah, I like that.
True. I actually have this is a hot take, and this has nothing related to what we talked about in the show today, but you mentioned universities. I think in 20 years, it kind of is actually related to like the whole Cal AI thing, because he's in high school, or he was, Zach at least was in high school.
Yeah.
Education in 20 years will look really different, like
Yeah.
extremely different. In a world where your like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever could write better than your teacher probably can. It has way more access to teaching you and resources. Like, is the optimal way to learn through school? like to learn information. Like I think the social aspect we have to figure that out.
Yeah.
But like the important things to learn might not be traditionally what we learned in school. We live in a completely different world. It's kind of like it's even of a more drastic shift of what it was back in the day when people had to like learn things like, you know, they had to memorize dates and they had to like have encyclopedias and all to look up books and all stuff. Then you got the internet, you could just Google everything.
Yeah.
It's even more of a paradigm shift. And I think that's one of the reasons why some of the biggest companies in like AI, that I mean, you guys like work for them are education companies because it could really revolutionize that. So
I'd say like K through 12 probably look the same just because like you need a system, you need like social skills being built up. University will probably look a lot different.
Yeah.
Way
But-
more. Yeah, I think way more centralized and just like
a lot more like
specific.
boot camps even.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that was today's episode of the Cap Table, guys. We talked about a lot today, Heavy News Day. But
Yes.
you know, thanks so much for listening once again.
Thank you.
Follow us on LinkedIn. Follow us on X. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on every goddamn platform.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much for watching.
Love you. Bye.
Peace.